headlines, what post-finals recovery will look like for NBA players, the biggest health challenges for World Cup athletes as well.
And how sports medicine professionals determine whether or not an injury and an injured player should return to the game. Joining us today, we have Dr. Liz Gardner, sports medicine specialist and orthopedic surgeon at Yale Medicine and associate professor at Yale School of Medicine. Nice to see you. Thank you for your time.
Good morning.
Thank you for letting me come.
Of course. All right. Well, after a long NBA season and finals run, what would you say, are the biggest physical challenges that these players face? We saw Jalen Brunson after the big win. He seemed to have been limping. I'm sure pain after all those games.
Yeah, I mean, for anybody who watched that series, it was just wire to wire intensity and drama, right? And so after the celebrations, the parades, everything, it's really important for these athletes to be able to take the time for their bodies to recover. So the first few weeks are just about rest, mentally, physically, maybe working through some of those nagging injuries that they had been playing through because of the intensity of the series. And then after that, their attention turns to their opportunity to prepare for the next season. The summertime for these athletes is a vitally important time to be working with their coaches, with their trainers, to be able to be working on some injury prevention. So they'll be working on strengthening, mobility, their mechanics, yes, which will be helping them improve their performance next year, but also hopefully will be keeping them on the field.
Absolutely. Yeah, they've got to get their bodies rested and prepared for the next season. And, we were talking basketball. We got to talk about the FIFA World Cup, which is in full swing right now. Messi with Argentina making his debut last night. And of course, soccer. I have played this all my life. This is a very demanding sport. But for the pros, I can imagine how intense this sport is. What are the biggest health challenges they face?
Yeah, that's a really excellent question. I mean, the World Cup itself, just the format is different from the way that they usually play in the season. And I think one of the things that's most obvious about this World Cup is just the travel that they have, right? And the different climates they're playing in, right? And without much time to be able to acclimate for these athletes. Most of the time after they finish a match, they're jumping on a plane and heading off to the next city. So you take, say Australia, right? Their first match was in Vancouver. Their next match is in San Francisco. Yeah. You've got teams who are playing in, Mexico City, that's 7,000 feet above sea level, and then others playing in Boston, which is obviously at sea level and feeding to the same place and sites for the knockout round. So I think that's a unique challenge that the athletes are facing this year, in addition, of course, to just the strain of 90 plus minutes of incredibly intense soccer.
Yeah, you make very important and valid points. And quickly here, Dr. Gardner, as we wrap up, two questions sort of for you. How do sports medicine professionals really determine whether an injured player is fit to return to competition? And additionally, if an injury shows that it can be operated on or perhaps can not have to be operated on, maybe heal on its own, how do you decide what's better for the athlete?
Yeah, I mean, I could talk for an hour about that. And that's one of those questions. It's one of the hardest things for us in sports medicine because there is no textbook or research paper that tells you how to handle these very individual settings. I mean, I think importantly is safety. That should always be at the center of every decision that we are making. And so if there is a way to safely be able to treat an injury without surgery, of course, that's going to be preferable because you don't incur the risks of the surgery. In terms of deciding whether or not they can return to play, yeah, it's making sure that they can physically withstand those challenges, but also that they're mentally ready to be out there on the field, feeling confident to perform at the level that they need to be competing in a tournament such as the World Cup, the NBA Finals, with a few million or billion eyes on them at some pretty high stakes.
Yes.
A lot of pressure on them for sure. They've got to be mentally prepared. Liz Gardner, we thank you for your time, and it was a pleasure meeting you, doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you.